Good morning, everyone. I am back live with you again today. We started this yesterday, and I will have another big announcement today. We'll get to that in just a moment. How's everyone doing today? I know for me, on the one hand, it is hard to believe that this is my 46th day of quarantine. On the other hand, it feels like we've been home here forever. It helps that, at least here in Independence, the weather is starting to be just beautiful. Yesterday we had 23 degrees Celsius, and don't ask me what that is in Fahrenheit. Nice. And sunny with flowers and everything green, and it's really starting to be a lovely spring. It was good yesterday to get out for a walk and to work on mental health and just kind of spending some nice outdoor time together. I shouldn't comment probably on my diet yesterday. Let's just say that Five Guys has the most amazing fresh cut French fries, and I hadn't ordered French fries from an American restaurant in 4 years. Desperate times, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, this is day 2 of my new daily check-in with the world out there. Yesterday, I explained that we're facing unique challenges in this time of quarantine. And as I kept having to ask Laura what day it was, I thought we'd start this little project, a bit of a public service announcement every day. I'm calling my daily Facebook Live then, what day is today? My family has agreed to help, so we're doing the research so that you don't have to. And we'll get to that big announcement in just a minute. But every day, I'll also let you know about a few other things. First, if you're following the daily prayer for peace, you know that every day in Community of Christ, we pray for peace and we remember a particular country of the world. It has been amazing, hasn't it? Watching this tradition of the daily prayer for peace take hold in the world. And I know I've gotten to participate in some big milestone anniversaries of the daily prayer for peace at the Temple in Independence, and that's been fantastic. But I think it's been especially wonderful to experience the daily prayer for peace over the years in all sorts of congregations and settings all around the world. I still always remember those early days. Prayer for Peace was kind of a new thing, and Etienne Fana, the Mission Center president in Tahiti, where we were living at the time, and some other leaders had gotten together, and they started the daily prayer for peace at the Torona congregation in downtown Papeete. And they were doing that every morning at 6 a.m. That was really cool. But it's been neat the last few days, the last few weeks, to watch some of the different expressions of the daily prayer for peace, pandemic style, online. And I suspect that some of you have probably participated in those, maybe watched Council of 12 or World Church Leadership Council members doing the daily prayer for peace on the weekends, or maybe you've been involved in helping to lead a daily prayer for peace online for your area. Actually, I'd be interested if you've been involved in doing a daily prayer for peace. Leave a message in the comments underneath the video. I'd love to learn about what the daily prayer for peace is looking like that you're involved in where you are. Anyway, in addition to my daily big announcement, I'll remind you every day what the daily country is for the 1 p.m. Community of Christ Daily Prayer for Peace. Today's Community of Christ Daily Prayer for Peace country is Qatar. Yesterday's was Egypt. And it does seem appropriate. I don't know if they planned this, but it does seem appropriate that we're roaming around with our daily prayer for peace countries, roaming around the Middle East right now as we begin today, the official first full day of Ramadan. I don't know if if you have been hearing or reading about the impact of the pandemic on Ramadan. We've so enjoyed the last couple of years participating in various iftar meals with friends or as part of interfaith events here in the Kansas City area. And I really feel for our Muslim neighbors. As some of our camps and retreats have had to be canceled, I'm imagining them feeling something similar when they realize that those great traditions of being together for iftar and throughout Ramadan have to be altered. But yesterday, I was talking about the importance of paying attention to the developing world hunger crisis, and knowing that a big focus of Ramadan every year is on charity and sharing food with those who might not have. It's been interesting to see some of the reports and read some things about how Muslims around the world are stepping up to make sure that the feeding of the hungry focus of Ramadan isn't lost. And as I've gotten to be involved a little bit in the last few days, few weeks, with Community of Christ, continuing to reach out and support the most vulnerable with oblation, I know that this is something that this is a priority that we share also with our Muslim brothers and sisters. So anyway, as we remember Qadr today, we can also remember Ramadan and the generous charity that is part of what Ramadan represents. So if you're at home or wherever you are at 1 p.m. Or sometime today, take a minute to pray for peace. You can read the prayer that's on the Community of Christ website, or you can just do your own. Remember that there's a world out there, and remember Qadr today. The other thing I thought I would do as part of my daily check-in, we started this yesterday, kind of in the spirit of staying in touch with each other. I thought I would share an update from one person in a particular place around the world, kind of thinking mostly around my apostolic field. So for yesterday's What Day Is Today webcast, I told you about my friend Yolene, who's the Mission Center Financial Officer for Haiti Great North Mission Center. I thought today I would reach up to the opposite end of my field and tell you about a check-in I had yesterday with someone else. Yesterday, one of the people I checked in with was Steve Thompson. So Steve is the Community of Christ Mission Center President in Canada West Mission Center. Steve lives with his wife Marion in Edmonton, Alberta, and Edmonton is the capital of Alberta, Canada, and that's one of the two biggest cities in the province with more than 1 million people. Steve works with an amazing team, an amazing staff, and volunteers to lead the Canada West Mission Center, which, by the way, is enormous. The Mission Center extends from Winnipeg, Manitoba on the east, all the way out to Victoria, British Columbia on the west. And as Steve reminded me yesterday, for everyone not familiar with Canadian geography, that would be similar to Minneapolis, Minnesota to Seattle, Washington. Or if you're in Australia, that's a little less than the distance from Adelaide to Perth. So when I was checking in with Steve yesterday, he reported that he is doing okay. He and Marion have been working from home. And Steve points out that the Mission Center hasn't had any face-to-face activities since the first Sunday in March. So since then, all sorts of online events have taken place. As a Mission Center, they've been holding what they call virtual visiting fellowship every Tuesday morning and Thursday evening. They have about 15 to 20 or so persons from across the Mission Center and beyond joining, just really mostly for informal sharing on some theme questions and just sharing generally about how life is going. And then just this past Wednesday evening, they also had an online gathering aimed specifically at their youth. And they enjoyed participation with people from 3 different provinces in the West, as well as a guest from Ontario. So Steve's thinking that this will probably be held weekly for the next little while at least. Steve does say that he's not aware of any cases of COVID-19 in the Mission Center membership yet. So that's good news. So please keep Steve and Marion and the Canada West Mission Center in your prayers. Okay, so I know you've been waiting for the big announcement that I promised, so I think we better get to that. I'm sure some of you who watched yesterday are back again today because you're waiting for this. So just like yesterday, I have no drums, no trumpet fanfares, so I'll have to do the best I can. If your family is nearby, now's the time to kind of gather them close by so that everybody can hear the big announcement. Again, I'm calling this Facebook Live, What Day is Today? And I'll include this announcement every day. I know that, everything becomes a little bit blurred together in pandemic corona time. So here we go. Da 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 da. Yes, now in this moment, now in this day, but the question is, what moment, what day is today? I have checked with multiple sources. Most importantly, I've asked my wife. So you can trust me when I tell you that today is Friday. There it is. Today's Friday. So, I'm not going to keep you really much longer than that. I'm hoping that I have reduced your stress and led you to be a little more grounded in reality as this quarantine drags on. I am also hoping to be back again tomorrow with another What Day is Today Facebook Live. I will also announce the daily prayer for Peace Country for that day, so be ready for that. And we'll check in. I'm going to be checking in with someone else today, and I don't know who I'm going to tell you about tomorrow, but I'll tell you about someone tomorrow. So I'm signing off for now from my home in Independence, Missouri. Please, until tomorrow, remember to breathe.